Hey guys, it's so fun to be back here with you here. If you can hear me okay, if you could just click like on the broadcast, that would help me to know that my sound is good and video and all the kinds of good stuff for that. So I will just wait a minute or two while people come on. I was really excited last night. I was walking through Michael's and just kind of had this thought pop into my head. All right, I'm just going to hang out here one more minute and hopefully we'll come to log on. So anyways, I was in Michael's all by myself. It was a nice little mom trip, little retail therapy, although I did not come away with very much, so that was good. But, I was strolling the aisles and I was just thinking there is a similarity, let's say, between what happens in a store and what happens in our home. And a lot of people are saying how either they're having a hard time getting rid of things, or maybe their kids are having a hard time getting rid of things, or their parents are having a hard time getting rid of things because they don't want to let anything go. And I thought we can think about this topic, this question, a little differently than you might normally do. Okay, so when you bring stuff into your house, you bring stuff in and if you're not careful, obviously you get overwhelmed and you have too much clutter. But if you think about it in a different way, you might find it a lot easier to pick out what you want to keep and what you don't want to keep. And I was thinking in particular about magazines, right? So Martha Stewart Living or Better Homes or whatever you like to read, they spend months and months and months, and they have probably 10 times as many ideas for any particular issue of the magazine as ends up in the magazine, right? So they're editing as they go, right? They might start out with a list of 100 and then they whittle it down to 10. And they're only picking the best, right? So it doesn't mean that the other ideas weren't good. It's just that they weren't the best, or they weren't the right idea for that moment in time. So that is what I want to encourage you to do. So when you're trying to whittle down, or, let's say you have too much stuff, put on your editor hat and figure out what is the best for me right here. I can't keep it all. If I do, then I'm going to suffer, right? There's a huge physical, emotional toll that clutter takes on people. And so I really want to pick the best. So put on your editing hat and edit out what you don't want, okay? I mean, you could also think of it like clothing. You're not going to put on everything you love to wear all at once, right? That would be ridiculous. You would look like a bag lady. So you edit, you pick and choose, and maybe the next day pick something different, but you're constantly editing. So when we let the clutter become too great, we are missing that editing step, and we're saying, I want to keep it all. But when you keep it all, then you don't end up with a gorgeous magazine, with this beautiful cover and this wonderful, helpful information. You end up with just a huge pile that nobody can get through, right? Nobody can deal with that. If it hasn't been edited down, nobody can use it, okay? It's the same thing with Facebook even. Facebook is editing for you. They are deciding what to show you at the top of your newsfeed, and then what comes next and next and next. They can't show you everything. So next time you're trying to make a decision, or you're having a hard time letting something go, kind of put on your editing hat and say, is this the best thing for me? And don't hold on to it just out of fear or out of a need. Well, I spent money on it even though I hate it, right? That's just not productive, and it's just going to detract from, your wonderful life in your home. Okay, so that was just a thought I had, and I'd love to hear what you think about that. Does that make sense to you? Have you ever thought about decluttering in terms of editing? Let me know what you think in the comments, and I will be catching up with you there. Thanks. Bye.